Wow, it's cool 8 degrees here in southern Manitoba, Winkler, Manitoba. Just had a message from Abe Giesbrecht of Plum Coulee, trucker, Far, Texas, I think he said. 12 miles east of Far, PHARR, Texas, 25 degrees Celsius. Hey, that's all good. And, Johnny Weeb, St. Paul, Minneapolis, he says, doing a local trip. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. But here, you know what? It's the flag's waving. See that? And just another sunset, but it's, hey, it's almost time for me to get home. We got, the sun is setting, but it is, you know what? 9 o'clock, Central Daylight Time, southern Manitoba, Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. So, today we did another show with Jack Dawes on the Rock 98.5 radio station in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, and what a program Jack had, I had talked to a couple of farmers, Gilbert Sabaran and also William Pallister of Portage. Gilbert is at St. Jean, and then Jonathan Driedger, Grunthal, Manitoba, left field marketing senior vice president, I believe. And you know what? He had he was the market analyst, and you know what? It's just right now a lot of things are happening, and we're wondering where it's all going to end. Market prices are skyrocketing, rocketing as far as grain is concerned. And as somebody told Jack Dawes, if you're going to talk about record grain prices, tell them about the record input costs. And you know what? Absolutely true. And so the good managers keep farming, and the other ones either decide to drop out and allow the bigger ones to take over. Sometimes they don't have a choice. But we've got about 22% of the crop is in the ground in Manitoba. It's hard to believe. It feels like winter, and we already have that much seeded acreage, according to Manitoba Agriculture's latest crop report this past Monday. So since then, we've made progress. So I'm not envious at all. I just like to tell this farmer's story because they're the ones out on the line, putting it all on risk. Yes, we always have people that are throwing darts and stones, and I always used to say, a guy, you know what? Words will never hurt me or whatever. It goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may well not. But in this case, sometimes it does. Well, it's Mother's Day coming up, and I see Kathy Cron showing off a Mother's Day ring. Congratulations, great. Both to you, Robert and Kathy, and your family. God bless you. God continue to bless you too. And Mother's Day, yeah, it's the third Mother's Day that I'm without my precious wife. And at the same time, you know what? Life goes on. She's celebrating Mother's Day in a completely different era, completely different place. Had some discussions that didn't go that well on Facebook again. It's interesting. You put something out there and people start to take pot shots at you and those kinds of things. And you know what? Sometimes they're deserved, sometimes not. But, when friends that used to be start doing those kinds of things, it's time to move on and just say, you know what? You have your thoughts and I have my thoughts, and we will agree to disagree. And yes, it's the way it goes. And so the good Lord continues to encourage, continues to uplift. Many people find it difficult to even grasp a hold of the hand of Jesus. Sometimes they need somebody to step in beside them and hold that hand and reach out to those people and say, here, don't take my hand, take the Lord's hand. I'll give you mine, but it's just very temporary and very earthly. Take the Lord's hand and let him lead you. Those are the only way that many of us keep moving forward, is by simply taking the Lord's hand and letting him lead. You know, the footprints in the sand story always comes to mind. And, he says, you know what? He said he would walk with us, right? He's going to walk with us all the way. So he looks back at his tracks, and sure enough, there's one place where there was just one set. And this fella says, you know what? God, I thought you were going to be with me. God said, I was. I carried you. And that's the message I want to leave with you today. God will carry you. He will take care of you. And such a wonderful thought. And when you have, and many of you have lost loved ones, and a loved one moves on to glory, it changes your perspective on glory. It changes your perspective on earth. So with that today, I just want to wish all the farmers well out there. I want to wish every one of you well. And you know what? If you don't have a mother, think of that mother. I know many of you may not have good feelings about Mother's Day, but there's many that do. And I have a wonderful feeling. I have a wonderful feeling about my own mother, who prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and mended, prayed and mended and cooked food and whatever else, wiped away tears. My mother-in-law, I never told mother-in-law jokes because I had such a great mother-in-law who would never put her down by some kind of a mother-in-law joke. So I loved my mother-in-law. And then, of course, we celebrated Mother's Day at our place for my wife. She was a mother. And so, if not, it was a wife day before we had children. But it was always a special day, at first at home, and then with our mothers when they were still alive. So God bless you, mothers. I can't even begin to imagine all those mothers that have somewhere along the line felt the need to get rid of a child that would have come into this earth. I can't even begin to imagine that. And I don't want to. But even for you, mothers, God cares for you. There is no unpardonable sin other than the one where we completely reject God and the Holy Spirit and start to bash him. And so all of you mothers today, I just absolutely say, God bless you. Keep looking up to him. He, too, will see you through. And you husbands and fathers, make sure you also honor your wife and your mother of your children. And then if you don't have children, if you have mothers, honor them. I wish I could, and I do, by this absolute podcast. I honor my mother-in-law, my mother, and my wife, who was a mother, and my two daughters, who are mothers and wives. So I thank God for them. So that's it for now. I'm getting home because it's getting darker. Somewhere, sometime, somehow, I will see you again. God bless. That Seaman says.